In China, under President Xi Jinping, even the most powerful generals are not immune from sudden political collapse. One of the Xi's closest military allies, General Zhang Youxia, once considered the most trusted man in the China's armed forces, has now become the most senior public example of what Chinese authorities are calling disloyalty to the leader. China's Defense Ministry announced over the weekend that General Zhang is under investigation for what is described as violations of law and political discipline, language typically used by Beijing to signal corruption or political betrayal. The announcement stunned observers not only because of General Zhang's rank, but because of the long and visible closeness to President Xi. Just 2 years ago, in 2024, General Zhang met senior American officials in Beijing, including then U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. Sullivan later recalled that the Zhang spoke with unusual confidence and openness. He said General Zhang did not behave like someone worried about pleasing Xi Jinping or watching his words. Instead, he appeared self-assured, a man who believed he stood securely within the Xi's inner circle. That image has now collapsed. General Zhang's downfall is being described by analysts as far more significant than the dozens of other military commanders removed during Xi Jinping's sweeping purge of the armed forces over the past 3 years. Those purges were officially framed as anti-corruption drive, but they were also widely understood as a political effort to root out any senior officers whose loyalty to Xi was uncertain. Even so, few expected General Zhang to be targeted. At 75 years old, he could easily have been allowed to retire quietly. Instead, Chinese authorities made his removal public, turning him into a warning symbol. An editorial published in the official Liberation Army daily newspaper suggested that his alleged offense went beyond corruption. The paper accused General Zhang, along with other fallen commander, General Liu Zhenli, of undermining Xi Jinping authority as chairman of the Central Military Commission. It said they had trampled on the authority of the military leadership and had weakened the Communist Party's absolute control over the armed forces. The wording is critical in the Chinese system. The military is not an independent national institution. It is the armed wing of the Communist Party, and loyalty to Xi Jinping personally has become a central requirement. Political analysts say that the language used against General Zhang points to something deeper than financial misconduct. San Shanmei, a China military expert at the RAND Corporation, says that the accusation suggests a direct challenge to Xi's authority and possibly a personal betrayal. Jake Sullivan himself called the removal seismic, saying it raises serious concerns and serious questions about stability inside China's military leadership. For Xi Jinping, removing such a senior figure serves multiple purposes. It reinforces message that no one is untouchable, not even those with decades of service or revolutionary credentials, and it tightens Xi's grip over a military he has been reshaping since coming to power more than a decade ago. Xi has sought to turn the People's Liberation Army into a modern, combat-ready force capable of projecting power in Taiwan, the South China Sea, and beyond. But at the same time, he has placed enormous emphasis on political loyalty, embedding Communist Party supervision into every level of the armed forces. The dual effort, modernization paired with the ideological control, has created tensions inside the military. Some analysts believe that the latest purge reflects fear in the Beijing that certain commanders had become too independent or too powerful. General Zhang's case shows how rapidly fortunes can change in Xi's China. Once presented as a pillar of military reform and trusted deputy, he is now officially labeled as a threat to party authority. It also underscores how personalized power has become under Xi Jinping.